Hiya, my name's Jamie. I'm 33 years old and I'm from Glasgow in Scotland. And a couple of years ago I was diagnosed with PTSD. And I know what you're thinking. Exactly the same thing that I was thinking whenever the doctor told me. PTSD, but I'm not a war veteran. I wasn't in Nam. So how have I got PTSD? But turns out it's not what you think. So to explain my story, I suppose I need to go back a few years. So going back, my daughter was 2 and we had noticed that she hadn't really been developing in the way that a normal 2-year-old would develop. So got involved with the doctors, etc., and took her for a brain scan, MRIs, x-rays, etc., and they noticed that there was an issue with the white matter in her brain. So fast forward to a doctor's appointment with me, my now wife, and 2 specialists telling us that we should be making memories. They don't know how it's going to go. They don't know how long she may have to live. They were estimating, with the kind of speed of it, that it could be 6 months, could be a year, but we'll just take it as it comes. And obviously, my wife was distraught. The type of person I am, the type of person I was, I had to be the strong one. I had to be the guy to ask the questions, to know what the next steps were, to know what we could do, to know what actually was going on, what were the doctors going to do, what was the script, basically. Because I know, in that moment, my wife, she wasn't listening. Understandably, she wasn't listening. She'd just been told that our daughter was going to die. Essentially, as far as we thought at the time, everything's fine. Don't get me wrong, now she's coming on leaps and bounds, just to put your minds at ease. She's now 6 years old. She's in school and she has high muscle tone. They are checking up the white matter in her brain, but she's just diagnosed as having kind of cerebral palsy now. So don't worry, this story does have a semi-happy ending. But obviously at that moment, my wife wasn't listening. She didn't know what was going on. She didn't know what the next steps were, what we were going to do, what we could do. And I knew that I had to listen. I knew I had to be that guy that had the answers, because later on we were going to sit down, we were going to have a conversation, and we weren't going to know what was going to happen if I wasn't that logical, right, this is what's happening, what can we do, what is this, what's the next steps. But being that guy was detrimental. But me as a person, that's kind of how I've always been. I've always been that guy that's fine. Oh, Jamie's fine, he'll just deal with it. He just goes home with it. Nothing bothers Jamie. He's a happy wee lucky go guy. He'll just carry on no matter what. And I feel, from a male perspective, that's what's instilled into us. We just go on with things. We don't let things bother us. We've got tough skin. We need to be the strong ones for the family. We're the breadwinners. We're the shoulders to cry on. We're the people that deal with the problems. We sort everyone else's problems. We don't have problems. We deal with them. And growing up, that was kind of what I was used to. As I grew older, that's kind of what I just kind of became. I just dealt with things head on, just dealt with them as they came. Nothing really bothered me. Until it got to a point. So, looking back, I can see that I wasn't myself. I can see that things that didn't annoy me weren't annoying me. Things that I loved, I did not love anymore. Things that were minor became major. I became more snappy. I started shouting, getting more confrontational. I convinced myself that a job that I'd been in for 10 years with the same company, that it wasn't for me. They weren't giving me the support or the opportunities, even though they had been amazing to me and they'd given me so much. I felt underappreciated by them, and I started looking for other jobs. I then got a job in the same, it was retail, so I was still in the retail field, and I got a higher paid job, a higher role job with another company, and it was what I was working for, it was what I was training for, but I still felt underappreciated, undervalued. I still felt, I can't be bothered with this. I'd went from being a social butterfly and being the centre of attention and the life and soul of the party to starting this new job and isolating myself, not integrating with anyone, not talking to people, not going on nights out, just going in, keep my head down, doing my work, going home. I'd started eating more rubbish, cakes, sweeties, crisps, but not actual meals. Like I say, I started getting more snappy in the house, I started getting more confrontational. My kids were just so annoying. I just couldn't be bothered with them. I just wanted to sit on my couch and do nothing. Just sit there, just let the time pass. And my wife had started noticing, and it came to my head one day when I was on my way to work and I got a flat tyre. And honest to God, you would have thought that my house had just burnt down with my family inside it. That's how I felt. I pulled into the side of the road, I started crying, I phoned my wife, and I was in a panic. I didn't know what to do. I just couldn't cope. The simplest task, I could have just phoned my breakdown, it would have been fine. But no, my mind went blank. I was in tears, I was distraught, I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle life at that point. I was just literally on the phone sobbing to my wife that the tyre was flat and how are we going to fix this, how are we going to do this, how are we going to, I'm supposed to go to work, I don't know what to do, oh my God, what did I do, I'm a failure, I'm useless, I don't know how to change a tyre, I don't know how to do anything, I'm just pure useless at everything. And I went to the doctors, spoke to the doctor and explained everything that had kind of went on, how I was feeling, everything that happened in my life, and talking to him and my wife and my adopted mother who came to visit me after my wife phoned her after the tyre incident, kind of realised that I didn't process any of my feelings. I just ignored them. I pushed them down. I was concerned with everyone else's feelings, how they were coping, what I could do to help them. I didn't think about myself. And as selfish as that sounds, it's not. I literally just concentrated on, right, this is how my wife's feeling, this is how my son's feeling, this is how we can fix things for them, this is this is that. Me, I didn't matter. Because I can just deal with it. I can just go on as long as they're happy, as long as they're fine. Doesn't matter about me. And I broke down in the doctors again. Started crying. Started sobbing my heart out. I'd went from being a guy that rarely cried even, only cried at Marley and Me, to 2 days on the trot, inconsolable crying. And I didn't know why. I genuinely didn't know why I was crying. I was apologising to the doctor, which is ridiculous and stupid. But I was apologising for him because I was sitting crying. And that's when it came to the point where we all agreed it was me and how I wasn't processing my feelings. And to get forward, I had to address those issues essentially. So I was put on medication, diagnosed with PTSD, with the previous traumas, obviously, that I'd went through that I hadn't processed. And when I was on my medication, it was mental. It was crazy at first. literally I kept a diary of kind of how I felt, what was going on, and looking back, oh my god, I don't know if it was how I was actually feeling, or if it was medication, or some things are just crazy, some things are like almost supernatural, but I got through it. My health at the time, I've always suffered from asthma, but I wasn't eating properly, I wasn't sleeping properly, I wasn't exercising, I wasn't doing anything. I didn't have any hobbies anymore. I just, like I said earlier, I just didn't want to do anything. But obviously got a sick line for work, took my medication. While I was off that sick line, I started to feel a bit better. Keeping a wee diary of, it was an art diary, so it wasn't really a lot of stuff wrote down in it. It was more drawings, colours, pictures of how I was feeling. And it kind of started to make me feel a bit more like me. I started watching YouTube videos and of artists, and I've thanked them already on my Instagram, because if it wasn't for them, I don't know, I would have got through it, and I know I would have got through it because I have the support of my wife and my mum and that, but just personally I don't think I would have been the same. But they helped me develop a coping mechanism. And it's not the same for everybody. There's no quick fix, there's no blanket, this is going to help you. But that coping mechanism for me was art. It was something I used to really love, and they helped me get back into it, just with simple exercises, just by watching other videos and thinking, oh, I could do that. Or, oh, they pens look nice, I'd like to try them out. And I developed my passion and my love for art again, and it made me feel better, for want of a better word. It made me feel like me, like I actually was achieving something, like I meant something. And it's still how I cope these days. If I have a crappy day or things are getting to me, I can take 10 minutes, I can just doodle, I can work on a project, I can do some digital art. It's, for me, it was a means that's always there. It's always something I can help to cope and concentrate, and just, it helps me just clear my mind for those 30, 40 minutes, however long I'm doing it for. The things that would bother me aren't bothering me anymore, and then I'm relaxed, and then I can actually think logically and think the way I would think and be like, well, actually I was being silly earlier on, or I totally overreacted, or no, I'm right. It gives me that clarity, it gives me that strength to be the person that I know I can be. The pandemic, essentially, so going back, that job that I'd moved to, that I really wanted, I left. I left and I got another job, and this job has actually, I'm glad I did it, because they are very supportive of mental health, of illnesses, of everything. The pandemic, essentially, we've all been working from home during that time. In Scotland, everything got locked down. It's only recently just started opening back up. So we were all working from home, but we developed communication ways to stay in contact with each other. We do video calls, we do chats online. We're constantly in contact with each other every single day, so you don't feel like you're alone, essentially. It's not something that's affecting my mental health massively, to be perfectly honest with you. I have always liked that, being in the house. I could happily work myself, but I do like a bit of social interaction. I do like conversing with peers, talking things over. It just makes things a lot easier, a lot smoother, and it helps you understand them better as well. And I think with working from home, if I'm having a bit of a stressful day, I can take those 5 minutes and just do a wee doodle, just calm, before going back into it. It has helped me, strangely enough. The pandemic has actually helped me get through things, because it's helped me to progress in my coping strategies and develop my coping strategies in a way that I don't think I would have been able to if I was still travelling to work, being at work all the time, coming home from work. I don't know if I would have developed the same techniques I've got now, or if they would have worked as well in that kind of environment. But at least now I know that when I do go back to the office, I have those coping strategies and I can cope and I can adapt them to work with however I'm working that day. In terms of advice I would give to other guys, and not even with the situation I'm in, but just other situations, or if you're not feeling right, just definitely talk it over. I wish I'd talked over with my wife right from the get-go, from the beginning. Then we could have solved it. We could have handled it better, if you will. It might not have got to the stage that it's at now, but don't think that, oh, you're a man, you need to hide your emotions, you need to be the strong one, you need to handle everything and look after everybody, because it's not the case. We're all in this together. At the end of the day, we all look after each other. I mean, we've been going for equality for years now, so it's the same for guys. It's not just women that get equality, guys get it too. You're allowed to show your emotions. You're allowed to say, listen, I'm not okay. Can I take 5 minutes? Or can I have a wee chat with you because I don't feel right? I don't know what's going on. I feel a wee bit snappy. Depending on where you work, there's mental health first aiders. Talk to them. They can help you clear things up. They can confirm how you're feeling, or help you get coping strategies if you feel too embarrassed, or you don't really want to burden someone else your problems. Even though that's not the case. What is it they say? A problem shared is a problem halved. Just remember that. Because having those people around you and the support, it will get you through it. Acknowledging it is the first step, and then you just take it every day as it comes. Like I said earlier, develop a coping strategy, develop techniques that help you, but also let the people around you know that those are your techniques, those are what helps you. Talk to them as well, let them be involved in how you're going to get through this. If you need to take 5 minutes to get out away from a situation, tell them. Be like, listen, this is stressing me out, I need to take 10 minutes. Just leave me be for 10 minutes and then we'll come and talk about it again. You're not alone. Hope it helped. Thanks.